Here we go. Let me ask you, when it comes to Cassie's mom was on the stand today, and Diddy's defense team uh, did not choose to cross-examine her. And
Smart move.
yeah, like, what do you think that is? I mean, because this is her. Everyone asks, "Where's her parents? Where's her dad?" For them to see her mom go up there and speak on the abuse that she's seen and her wanting to stop Diddy herself. Like, she, as a mother, physically wanted to fight Diddy for what he did to
You want to
allegedly.
know what's sad? That that woman had to do that at all.
Man,
I said it for her so she didn't have to.
mm,
And she still had to do it anyway. The sad part about it is everybody knows he done it, making that woman have to sit there and say it at all. Ain't no shame. Just
yeah,
ain't no shame.
right. To not cross-examine her, it speaks volumes that you don't want this jury. You don't want to go against the mother, and that right there, to me, that right there spoke more volumes than possibly everything that I've seen thus far. The pictures,
You
the
want to know
artists.
what's funny? I would have loved for Cassie to have been evaluated by a psychologist and a psychiatrist,
Mm,
and for them to give an assessment of what they believe her mental and emotional capacity was over the course of the 10 years of this awful experience in her life. Now it's funny because the diddler supposed to have a doctor talking on his behalf, but why wasn't there one to speak on Cassie's behalf of what her capacity was, what it could have been? How could how could she have fallen into this? That's why just sitting there
yeah,
listening to people try to tear her apart, you have no idea where she was in her life, in her mind.
yeah,
You
and
don't know what teen struggles she might have had. She was literally a kid. And people say, oh, you're grown, you're grown. Listen to me. If you're not old enough to drink, if all you are is old enough to die and pay taxes for your country,
no,
the
and
human brain isn't fully completely formed until the age of 25.
that's exactly what I think Diddy meant by moldable. Her brain was
Yeah,
her psyche was moldable
yeah.
right then and there.
Pimping
And
ain't easy, but it gets easier the younger you grab it.
come on,
Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are older, they won't depart from it. That's why you have a lot of older men who like getting involved with younger women. I would know. I dated my fair share of older men. And do you know what I learned? They enjoyed the challenge of me because I was so mature for my age. But the older I got, the more I realized they were still a disadvantage. And the disadvantage was time and wisdom. See, it doesn't matter how smart a young girl is. See, you're already at a disadvantage because of time and wisdom. At 19 years old, a man that's 10 years older than you has a better understanding of the transition from teen to adulthood. They know how it runs, they know how it rolls. They got that head start. So while they're watching you flail around as you're figuring it out, they have the ability to manipulate and maneuver certain things because they simply just have the time. I don't care how stupid you are. If you're 50 years old and you live to be 50, even as an idiot, you're going to have a certain amount of gain just because you survived life that long. It's not about whether or not they're smart enough to know the difference between right and wrong. They really don't understand the gravitas or the value of it because they don't have the life experience. See?
And you know, Diddy, he's a powerful dude. Let's just say he's a powerful dude, and I got to get your take on, as we're watching this thing.
Powerful how?
So, and when I say powerful, when you see that they confiscated, he goes back to New York to turn himself in. They say
Hmm.
they don't give him the time to turn himself in. They go arrest him as
Yeah,
he
because
goes
they
on a
knew.
stroll around New York. He goes on a public stroll and take pictures with people. To know that he had baby oil and the pink Tusi in his hotel room. Like,
Yeah,
he came to New York, he says, to turn himself in, and yet you still bring the items that like
yeah,
you bring the freak off items with you, like,
yeah,
to turn yourself in.
yeah.
It, the level of power that you must think you have of like
The level of power. You mean the level of powder? I think that's the level you talk about. The
man,
level of powder that he was on. See, this is the thing. I don't think it has anything to do with power at all. I think it has to do with the fact that he's a sick bastard, and sick bastards just don't care. They don't care. They know they deserve to be caught. They just want to see how long they can get away with it. That's all. And have as much fun as they can in between. Tell me something.
I,
Why
I
would anyone let those girls come into that courtroom to hear any of that testimony?
yeah, they're saying
Why?
that someone had
Why?
mentioned that you have to understand if he's guilty or innocent. You need to be there to understand why. But
No,
the
you
level
don't.
the level of testimony, I'm trying to, again, this goes
No,
back.
you don't.
Well,
Them girls don't need it.
yeah,
I don't need to hear that crap.
I gotta
Listen
go
to
back.
me.
I, I gotta go back to Diddy though. Like, the
Uh,
for him to care, for him to have the drugs on him as he goes to New York to turn himself in. The level of that. Then also for you to know what's about to come out in this testimony, but still
mm,
have your girls pull up and give the a little heart sign.
mm,
You knew what
mm,
was about to come out. That means you almost wanted your children to hear this
mm.
testimony.
Not almost.
Yeah, right, right. You did.
Not almost. You know what it sounds like? Y'all better be there today if you want me to fund that, buy them dresses and make sure you had them cars. Like for anyone to think, "Hmm,
Like,
yeah,
you know
this
what's
is,
about to come out in this case. And you
yeah,
got their daughters.
not even OJ's children were present to hear some of that testimony. This is a travesty. It's a travesty.
Yeah, no.
It's a shit show.
It's one weekend.
Honestly,
It's one weekend.
and I keep trying to get people to understand. Y'all don't understand how the feds work, and y'all don't understand where this is going. And I'm not telling anybody. I'm not. I'm gonna sit there and make y'all suffer
Again,
because I don't think they understand when I say God said no. He meant it.
so you are aware that I heard that Diddy's team was prepping an apartment for a possible bail,
Hmm.
possibly sitting him in his own apartment, worth
For the rest of the trial.
for the rest of the trial.
Why? Because they're afraid something's gonna happen to him like it happened to Tory Lanez.
Do you think they're wanting now? It's a cash grab. Like, okay,
Mm.
the 50 million is back on the table.
50 million is back on the table. Let me tell you something right now. That would be the stupidest thing for the judge and the prosecution to do right now. The stupidest thing. But hey, they're saying that they're already pitching a party. Why? If he's innocent, would you be pitching a party? They got people, all kinds of bloggers running around saying that, oh, mistrial, oh, this, oh, that. Oh, they're not proving this. They're not proving that. On week one, and the trial is scheduled for 8 weeks.
Right. Right. I'm like, no, this is the game plan. Trust me. This is
Who are you people think you're fooling? It's just sad. It's it's sad,
it,
because it's looking like it's really gonna take the verdict to get everybody to accept that Santa Claus ain't real.
when you see a Gene Deal getting possibly called in to testify, do you feel like they're gonna go down this path of early '90s puff?
Are they? Because I just saw something with him saying that he wasn't.
No, no, no. You just say just the fact that he's in the vicinity. What what do you feel that is as far as is it a distraction? Is it more so is I mean, no, Gene's gonna do what Gene do. But
What I'm gonna say is this. People got their questions about why I was there.
yeah,
People got their questions about why Gene was there. What I will say is when I showed up with my own microphone and cameras. Gene showed up amongst the people. That's the difference.
yeah, and it made me and thank you for speaking on our platform because I'm wondering, and I know Gene, I met the man. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm wondering as far as the energy of what this is for New York. You had said it
He
best last
got
time, where
his reason. I got my reason.
yeah,
I think it would be interesting though for me and Gene to have another conversation, yeah.
mm,
That would be interesting.
that would be that
Who
would
knows?
be.
Maybe I'll tell him why I was there. Maybe he'll tell me why he was there.